The Happy Prince, written by Oscar Wilde. Oscar Wilde was an acclaimed poet and playwright born in Dublin. Wilde attended Trinity College. Throughout the 1880s, he experimented with various forms of writing and established himself in the literary and artistic circles in London. During the 1890s, he became one of the London's most acclaimed playwrights. His unmatched wit and flamboyant style set him apart from his contemporaries. Some of his most popular plays include A Woman of No Importance and so on. Wilde wrote only one novel, The Picture of Dorian Gray. When it was first published, the novel was not well received by critics. He also wrote short stories and essays. Now we'll proceed for the summary, The Happy Prince summary in English. Standing high above a city is a statue of the Happy Prince. The beautiful statue has sapphire eyes, is covered all over with thin leaves of fine gold, and has a large ruby on the hilt of his sword. One day a bird swallow was going to a place as migratory birds do. He wanted to take rest for the night. He sees the statue of the Happy Prince and decides to rest between the statue's feet. Happy with his beautiful place of rest, he prepares to sleep. Just then, a large drop of water falls on him. He looks up to the sky, but sees that it is clear of rain clouds. However, drops of water continue to fall on him. The swallow looks up at the statue and realizes that its eyes are full of tears. He is filled with pity. The swallow asks the statue who he is, and the statue says he is the Happy Prince. The swallow asks him why is he crying. The prince says that when he was alive and had a human heart, he did not know what sorrow was, because it was not allowed to enter his palace. He lived and died in happiness. After he died, his courtiers placed his statue high above the city from where he can witness all its ugliness and misery. Even though his heart is made of lead, he cannot help but weep. The Happy Prince says that on a little street far away is a poor house. Through its window, he can see a woman seated at a table. Her hands are red, coarse, and pricked all over by needles because she is a seamstress. She is embroidering flowers on a gown for the most beautiful of the queen's maid of honor to wear to the court ball. In a corner is a bed upon which lies her little boy who is ill with fever. He asks his mother for oranges, but as she has nothing to give except river water, the boy is crying. He asks the swallow to take the ruby from his sword and give it to the women. The Happy Prince's sad face moves the swallow and he agrees. He takes the ruby out of the sword and flies over the city, past the cathedral and the palace. He sees a beautiful girl come to balcony of the palace with her lover. The swallow hears her say that he hopes her gown with the embroidered flowers is ready in time for the ball. She remarks that seamstresses are lazy. When the swallow arrives at the women's house, he finds that the boy is tossing in bed with fever and the woman has fallen asleep, exhausted. He places the ruby on the table beside the woman's thimble and on his way out, fans the boy's forehead with his wings. The boy feels better instantly and goes off to sleep. The swallow flies back to the prince and remarks that he feels quite warm in spite of the cold weather. The prince says it is because he has done a good deed. The swallow then falls asleep. The next day, the swallow goes to the river for a bath. Happy at the prospect of going to Egypt that night, he visits all of the city's monuments. At moonrise, he goes back to the prince and announces that he is leaving for Egypt. The Happy Prince tells the swallow that far away in the city he sees a young man in a garret, leaning over a desk covered with papers. There is a bunch of withered flowers in a glass by his desk. The man is trying to complete writing a play for the director of the theatre, but he is too cold and hungry to write any more. The swallow offers to stay one more night to help. The prince asks the swallow to take one of his sapphire eyes from his statue to the man. The man can then sell the sapphires to the jeweler and buy some firewood to keep warm. The swallow is set to pluck out the prince's eye, but does as he is told. The swallow flies to the man's house and enters it through a hole in the roof. The man is resting with his head in his hands and does not hear the bird. When the man looks up, he finds the sapphire between the withered violets. He thinks that some admirer has left it for him and is happy that now he can finish writing his play. The next night, the prince again asks the swallow to stay for the night. The swallow says that soon it will begin to snow and he needs to go to Egypt where the weather is warm. The prince, however, tells him that in the square below is a little match girl whose matches have fallen into the gutter. She is crying because if she goes home without money, her father will beat her. He asks the swallow to give the girl his other sapphire eye so that her father does not beat her. The swallow plucks out the sapphire and drops it into the girl's hand. She goes home happily, thinking that she has found a piece of beautiful glass. The swallow returns to the prince and says that as the prince is now blind, he will stay with him always. Next day, the prince asks the swallow to fly over the city and tell him what he sees. The swallow follows this command and sees the rich making merry in their homes, while the poor suffer in the streets. Under the archway of the bridge, he sees two little boys lying in an embrace to keep warm. The watchman drives the boys away into the rain. When he tells the prince of his finding, the prince orders him to take off the gold leaves, one at a time, and give it to the poor. The swallow picks the leaves one by one till the prince begins to look dull and grey. The poor children, however, grow happy because they now have food to eat. Then it begins to snow, and after the snow, the frost arrives. Though the swallow feels colder and colder, he does not leave the prince. Eventually, he realizes that he will die soon. He musters up strength to fly to the prince's shoulder to bid him goodbye and ask to kiss his head. The prince says he is glad the swallow is finally going to Egypt. He thanks the swallow for staying so long and asks him to kiss his lips as he loves that swallow very much. The swallow says that he is not going to Egypt but to the house of death. He then kisses the prince and falls down dead at his feet. At that moment, the sound of something breaking comes from the statue. His heart of lead has broken. The next morning, the mayor and town councillors notice that the statue of Happy Prince looks shabby. They notice that the jewels and gold have been stripped off and the statue looks like that of a beggar. They notice the dead bird at its feet and make a note to declare that birds should not be allowed to die there. The statue of the prince is taken down. The art professor remarks that without its beauty, the statue is no longer useful. The statue is melted in a furnace, but the broken leaden heart does not melt. The workmen in the foundry throw it on the heap of dust, where the dead swallow is also lying. God in heaven asked an angel to bring him the two most precious things in the city. The angel brings him the broken lead heart and the dead bird. God is happy and says that the little bird will forever sing in his garden of paradise, and a city of gold, the happy prince will praise God. This is the end of the summary. The theme of this story is based on charity and bridging the gap between the haves and the have nots. It dwells upon the way the rich perceive life as compared to the poor. It also highlights the fact that humans often value unimportant things while ignoring valuable things like charity and kindness. In a way, it gives the message to have the sensitivity, the sensitive attitude towards those who are less privileged than us. It emphasizes how one can lessen the suffering of others and bring about equality by sharing what one has. It also reminds us that having a warm, giving heart is more important than having a beautiful appearance.